What a beautiful day in Terrebonne Parish, downtown Homer, for our bicentennial. And of course, we've buried a capsule that will be opened in 2122, 100 years from now. And it's got different pictures and doubloons and things from today's date and during our time in Terrebonne Parish, which our granddaughters and great-granddaughters and grandsons will be opening up in 100 years. So right over there by the Alfred and Associates tent is where the capsule is buried, and we're going to unveil it in a few minutes. In 1972, 150 years from when Terrebonne Parish started, under Mayor Davidson and Police Jury President Bubby Lyons, they did a time capsule of 150 years, and we're doing one at 200 years to be open in 100 years on a bicentennial of Terrebonne Parish's beginning. And with that, we've put a lot of pictures in there. There's pictures of our floodgates, our levees, the roads and the bridges and the doubloons and the shrimping industry and the Indians of this era and all of the people of Terrebonne Parish, the politics and the way Terrebonne is now, and so they can see how it is 100 years from now. And it's in 100 years, and I wrote a letter. And in that letter that I put in there, I described the shrimping, the fishing industry, the crabbing industry, oil and gas, sugar cane, the Indians, etc., the settlement of Terrebonne Parish. But I did put one thing. I said, if you're reading this letter, in 100 years, the levees and the floodgates work because they're not underwater. So, hey, let's give an applause to Tony Alford, Reggie Dupre, the levee board, for building the levees that's going to make Terrebonne Parish sustain 100 years from now. And for that, on the stone is my name as parish president, Darren Guidry as chairman of the council, Tony Alford as president of the levee board in the levee district, and Chris Pulaski as chairman of the event. And they're each going to say a few words. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to my wife, Mona. I have numerous grandchildren, and my daughters, and my daughters are over here, and we look forward to the unveiling. We're going to unveil it as soon as everyone talks. But God bless the people of Terrebonne Parish. I see we have Steve Troseclair, Councilman Steve Troseclair from the Montague, Portneuf area, Berg. And, it's so important that Terrebonne survives this coastal erosion, but at the same time, we keep our economy strong and the people of Terrebonne Parish resilient. As you know, the people of Terrebonne Parish put up a 3/4 cent sales tax to build the levee system, to build the pump stations, to build the floodgates so we can survive for the next generation to come. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Councilman Darren Guidry, Councilman of the Terrebonne Parish Council. Darren?
Thank you, Mr. Dove. As chairman of the Terrebonne Parish Council, it's my honor to be a part of this particular project. Of course, we have one that was put in the 70s, and that today is 50 years. It'll be opened in 100 years together with this one. Well, how have things changed since the 70s? I guess you can only watch a 70s movie, and you can see all the differences. This couldn't happen today, or this, wow, look at this, can you believe that? No cell phones in the 70s. Who would have thought of that? So it'd be interesting, it's interesting to imagine what the people 100 years from now will be thinking when they open up that time capsule. Now, I was asked what I wanted to put in the time capsule, and I thought really hard about it. And one of the things, I guess that touched me over the years as a councilman when I first got elected was this: I got a letter from a third grader at St. Francis Catholic School. And the letter was written in various misspelled words, how the young kids will do. And it basically asked about recycling. You know, could we consider maybe bringing back curbside recycling and such? And all the reasons why this third grader thought that was important. That's what I included in there. I don't know who the third grade student is. I guess 100 years from now, reporters will be searching out the relatives of this third grade student. But you know, it's a capture of the times that we're starting to talk about recycling. And 100 years from now, it may be given. You know, we may not even have packaging. Packaging may disappear. Who knows what's going to happen in 100 years? So that was my contribution. I thought that touched me, and hopefully it touches some people 100 years from now. And so I'm happy to be a part of this. Thank you guys for coming and help us celebrate the 200th celebration, the bicentennial of Terrebonne Parish, and helping us celebrate this time capsule being buried for another century. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. And the next speaker is Anthony Tony Alford. You know, I nominated Tony Alford on the levy board right at 20 years ago. Kathleen Blanco was governor. She appointed. Then Bobby Jindal appointed him, the next governor, and this last governor, John Bel Edwards, appointed him. And for 20 years, Tony Alford has run the levy board. He hasn't taken a nickel, no per diem. Everything he did was his time, no paid, nothing. And between him and others, they built the Terrebonne Parish levee system, which, as you know, we've been hit by a lot of hurricanes and you don't see water coming in here anymore. So big round of applause for Tony. 20 years he's put into this parish, and I'm glad to call him my friend.
Lord is too kind. Well, first off, I'd like to recognize my mother and father, my wife, who has really, y'all thought I helped put these levees together? She actually put the levees together. Told me what to do. My daughter, Katie, my son, Josh, Caroline, Sean, all right, who am I missing? And our new grandbaby, 6 weeks old, Elsie Ann. And so, you know, we have grown up here our whole lives, just like a lot of you have. And it's been, you know, Gordy said, and I really appreciate it, you know, I did this for nothing. It has been my honor to do this for Terrebonne Parish and ourselves as well. You know, one thing that really made me feel good about this parish, in 2000, we were approved at a $500 million cost to build this system. Congressional approval. And you know, the general at the time had to do one thing with the Corps, had to sign the chief's report. Didn't sign the chief's report. Had to wait 7 years for war to take place again. Price tag, $880 million. Ready to roll, right? Congressional approval. Then Katrina hits. Price tag went to $10 billion. So since I've been on the levee board, you know, we tried to play the game, go forward with the Corps, do all the right things, and at a point in the process of doing this, guess what we figured out as Terrebonne Parish? Not just me. Terrebonne Parish figured out we got to get this done. It was storm after storm after storm. And we passed a second tax. And we moved forward. And we put this project together. And so instead of the levee being built the first 13 feet, Lafourche was very fortunate to have the first 13 feet built by the Corps. We built the first 13 feet, all but 4.5 miles. And now we have the cavalry has arrived to help us finish this project. So it has been my pleasure, my honor, to serve aggressive people and great people in Terrebonne Parish. And I'll always be proud of that, and I thank you.
And you know, that's from the heart. And last but not least, the guy who put all this together, his name is also on that stone we're going to unveil. Chris Pulaski, along with Debbie Artigo and Candace Malden and Ann Piku, and I could go on, all put this great event together. A big round of applause for Chris Pulaski, the guy that put this together.
Thank you. I too would love to give a shout out to my beautiful wife, Melissa. I don't know where you are. My sons, Evan, Alex, and Manning. My parents, Danny and Carolyn Leeret. Got my nephew here, Maxim, bro. Thank you all for coming today. When Parish President Dove first approached me and said, we're going to put this plaque here, he asked for me to put that together, so I put it on and I put, planning committee. I just didn't want to put my name on there. He said, no. Your name has to be on there. So I kind of thought about it for a minute. Of course, my boss told me my name has to be on there, so that was one reason. But the other, I figured, well, at least it's good to have your name on a piece of granite when it's not a headstone. So, just some more fun for you. In the time capsule, I mean, yes, there's lots of official documents and things of that nature, but we also had a little bit of fun. There's a COVID test kit and a mask. Noah put in a bottle of whiskey, which was really cool too, because he put a note on the bottle that says, whoever's opening this, find the descendants of Noah Leeret and his cousin, and find them, open the bottle together, and toast their great-grandmother who was responsible for the whole concept behind the Bayou Terrebonne Distillery. So that's pretty cool. Cajun Cutters, those guys did an amazing job with the time capsule. There's pictures of it on display over there by the time capsule, so I'd urge everyone to go take a look at it. Cajun Cutters, the guys that did it, they even wrote their names on the underside of the lid. It's really cool. And a big thanks to the ladies with the Terrebonne Garden Club. Miss Wanda, Miss Linda, they're the ones who went out into the community and gathered up all this stuff. Y'all, there's an amazing amount of information in there. That box, nothing's getting in it. It's going to be there 100 years from now, and those lucky souls who get to open both time capsules would love to see the looks on their faces. But thank you all for coming again. Look, after we're done here, we're going to move the whole operation over to the site, and then we'll do the unveiling. But thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
And since everybody is recognizing their family, I do want to recognize my wife, Pam, out in the audience, who, of course, helps me in everything I do. Also got my daughter, Brooke, my granddaughter, Aiden, and my in-laws, Al and Gail Voisin. So I wanted to mention them since we mentioned family, and I know Gordy's going to mention his family, too.
Oh, never forget family. That'll get you in trouble. Yeah, if I start naming my grandchildren, I got 21 of them, so we'd be here a while. But look, we're going to move over there. We're going to unveil it, the granite, and 100 years from now, they will be opening it. I hope to be here. I'll be 165 years old, but I'll be standing there when they open it. Thank y'all. God bless the people of